saw this video floating around social media and I tried my very best to ignore it. But then you have Keir Starmer's giant head in the background. He looks like a life model used for a cubism painting. A head so big it could be mistaken for an asteroid flying towards Earth. Fuck off. Anyway, this video from the Joe UK YouTube channel attempts to highlight why the left might never win in the UK. I will play the entire clip and return to make comments.
Zack Polanski officially launched his bid to oust from the leadership of the Green Party.
They need to become a lot nastier quite quickly if they want to stand up to reform in a lot of places. But even in the interview with you, Laura, I thought it was interesting how reflexively Zack Polanski used the language of, and I'm not using this in like a derogatory sense, but he's using like ultra woke language.
It's like the language of social justice movements.
Yes, exactly that. Like things, he was using terms like global majority. He was using terms like, of course, I want the Greens to stand for environmental justice, racial justice, social justice. And I'm sure he absolutely fervently believes that. And I'm not making any assessments of the legitimacy of those values. But speaking in those terms, I think, turns a lot of people off. And if you're going up against Nigel Farage and imagine like a national debate.
Yeah, it can stay in the manifesto, that kind of stuff.
Zack Polanski is standing there going like, I believe in the global majority, and Nigel Farage goes, vegan. And like that's what, like, they're not even necessarily playing the same game. And if he can lean into the nastiness, if he's the person who can get down and dirty, I'm not necessarily sure that Carla Denyer and Adrian Ramsey have a nasty bone in their body, but is Zack Polanski the person to lead, to transform the Greens into this nasty, like, street fighting team?
We're fucked.
Recommending the Green Party ditch wokeism wasn't even the worst thing about this clip. There were 5 things more damning. Displaying Cafe Nero cups is worse. That Duolingo sticker on the laptop is worse. That vest/waistcoat is worse. Turning on the mics is worse. Pressing record on the camera in the first place is worse. How can it be that easy to discard marginalized groups like that just to win some seats in an inherently unfair political voting system? I don't know anybody in this clip, but they all look like they could have been standing outside the door in the 2013 Purge movie. The type of people that pretend to have liberal guilt but are praying for that one lawless day of the year to cut loose. This is what happens when you surround yourself with people that look and think like you. The type of individuals that believe wearing wired earphones is genuine vintage fashion. I bet they live in trendy places like Hackney or Peckham, but call the police if they see a black person riding a bike with a face covering. Gloriously open-minded in the sheets, radically conservative in the streets. I'm sure this guy has more knitted vests in his wardrobe than non-white friends in his circle. It is this kind of liberal thinking that Keir Starmer is implementing right now. But what's more funny is that Nigel uses phrases like metropolitan liberal elites, globalists, equality and diversity, but voters will be confused with terms like
environmental justice, racial justice, social justice.
Give me a break. If people don't understand a term or phrase, just explain it. That is better than capitulating to right-wing framing and right-wing use of language. I wonder which word would put people in the tightest headlock. Environmental, racial, maybe social. Nah, people definitely struggle with the concept of justice. Imagine saying all of this while sitting in front of a book titled What is Anti-Racism? I can tell you what isn't anti-racism. This guy. God. Damn. In a word, no. The comments in this video were made after the local elections where the Green Party made a net gain of 41 councillors. Waistcoat Guy didn't sit back and say,
"Oh wowee, that's great. We're going in the right direction. The Greens will either make more gains next time round or force Labour leftwards."
Instead he sat there and said,
41 extra councillors? Sheesh, that's lame. Maybe you should start calling people coloured again. I'm joking. Unless you really want to do it, I mean.
You will never be able to anti-woke better than a fascist, because voters will firstly see you give legitimacy to fascists for their way of thinking, and secondly, people tend to go for the uncut cocaine. It gets into their bloodstream much quicker. It's better to separate yourself from the rest of the pack with your own principles, language and policies, like Jeremy Corbyn did before the right-wingers got their hooks in. The Joe UK description on YouTube states, Joe wants to show you how to be a good bloke. If it's helping you to have a normal relationship with women, making you and your mates laugh, or blowing your minds with stories of ordinary men doing extraordinary things, Joe has got you covered. This clip did none of those things in my opinion. Using a term like global majority isn't woke language pandering to non-white people, it's an accurate description of international statistics. There are 2,871 active food banks in the UK right now, and they aren't open due to working class gluttony. If I follow the Vest guy's logic to its natural conclusion, bringing back terms like coloured won't address the root cause of food banks or stop studio apartments in London being £2,000 per month. Jesus, infinite planets in the universe and I end up on the one where adults debate whether trans women should exist. Shedding woke skin might be music to the ears of Middle England, but it turns off actual progressives and young people, which means you will be fighting for the same small pool of voters like every other dipshit right-wing party. I imagine Liberals believe Green Party leaders should dial down the woke because of a mistaken belief Nigel Farage has softened his fascist ideology, when in reality Nigel has replaced the foghorn for a dog whistle. He went from
I hate hearing foreign languages. We should sink the boats and Turkish people will flood this country.
to
We have to prioritize our indigenous British population. Wink, wink.
that's why Nigel screaming
Vegan!
would cut through to certain voters, and I don't know whether it is worth deliberately pandering to those people. I don't believe anyone should abandon actual woke language or woke behavior because they are morally correct positions to have. Real wokeism does not harm anyone, whereas conservative actions hurt everyone not within the in group. Whatever happened to just being principled, energizing the youth, inspiring activists, and picking up votes with equitable, generous, and empowering ideas? Even The Guardian recognizes an effective ground campaign and community activism works. Things to make you go, Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.
Never give you up. Never give you up. Never give you up.